Hey, this is Tony with Alternative Living Spaces, where we help investors expand their Airbnb portfolio, homeowners add extra living space to their property, and retirees find freedom through alternative living. In these next few videos, I want to provide you with all the information you need to build your very own shipping container home. We've been building container homes since 2016, and after building 75 shipping container homes and talking with thousands of people, we've decided to document all the information necessary for you to be able to build your own container home, from the permitting process to the finishing touches and everything in between. Today, we're going to be focusing on the permitting and design process for building a container home. For permitting, we'll be going over how different counties regulate container homes and some new legislation that will make container living even more accessible. We'll also be going over the design process, which will include the grading and site plan, the architectural design, and the structural engineering of the container home and foundation. When it comes to permitting your container home, it will vary county by county. For example, if you live in the desert of northern Arizona, there is little to no regulation on container homes. However, if you live in a major city, there is typically more regulation. It's for this reason that we recommend first contacting your local zoning and building department to determine what the regulation is in your area. These regulations will describe the size and type of home that you're allowed to build on your property, along with a checklist of what the requirements are in order to build your home. It's common for counties to want stamped architectural and engineered drawings. They'll want to be assured it was constructed by a qualified builder, and they'll typically want to perform some basic level of inspections during the build process. Now, there are some loopholes to help you have a container home on your property. Some areas are now allowing tiny homes as ADUs, which means additional dwelling units. This means if you have a main home on your property, you may be able to add a container tiny home to your backyard. What we have started doing is we developed a container home on wheels model that is classified as an RV. This allows you to be able to place your container home anywhere an RV can be placed, and this is something you can do as well. Adding a container home to a trailer can help you get around standard regulations that apply to permanent structures, since your unit would now be considered mobile and treated as such. You would just need to make sure that your unit is constructed in such a way to meet the basic requirements by the DMV for RVs, which usually includes making sure your finished container home on wheels is not too wide or too tall. You'll want to make sure your overall height is under 13 feet 6 inches and that you don't exceed 8 feet in width. Okay, now that we've discussed some of the technicalities of permitting, let's start discussing the topic of design. There are three main aspects of design that will be required for your build: the grading and site plan, the architectural plan set, and the engineering. Some counties may require additional plans for a sprinkler system, and depending on your property, you may need to have a septic system designed. The grading and site plan is property specific. These show the locations of your unit and how to be placed on your land. This is also where drainage will be addressed, ensuring your property is properly graded and your home is positioned so that in the event that there's a large rainstorm, the water won't damage your home. For most counties, you will also need to contact your local water and power company in order to get utilities set up at your property. This may affect where you would like to place your unit. For example, if you are looking to add a container home into your backyard, it would be ideal to have it near your existing plumbing in order to save costs. When it comes to the architectural drawings, they will provide you all of the details related to constructing your home. It will include the floor plan, utility plan, roof plan, sections, elevations, the door and window schedule, general notes, the energy report, and possibly other items. For example, in California, it's common for a sprinkler system to be required, which would require a plan as well. I encourage you to find an architect who has experience with container homes. This will make the build process flow so much better. An experienced person will know the best way to lay out spaces within a container, and for those of you who want to stack or connect containers, they're going to help set you up for success. Detailed architectural drawings make the entire build process much easier and make sure all the trades are on the same page. Pricing for architectural work will vary depending on the size of the project and complexity of the build. If you're doing a single container, I would imagine the price to be somewhere around $3,000 to $5,000. And if you're combining, say, 3 to 4 containers, you're probably looking at $5,000 to $10,000. For those of you that are doing even larger projects where you're going to combine 6 or even 7 containers, you'll probably want to budget about $15,000 for the architectural drawings. The last set of drawings you're going to have is your engineering plan set. These go over the foundation and the engineering of the container. A soil test is typically required for a property which determines what the ground is like. The engineer is then able to determine the kind of foundation setup that'll be best for your property. For containers, we commonly see pier foundations or a monolithic flab foundation. A new product that could be a good option for container homes are actually ground screws. They can be installed in as little as 1 day and can be much more cost effective than pouring concrete. For those of you that are in rural areas, doing the build as a temporary type of structure, you can keep the foundation process a lot more simple. In these situations, having the container placed on compacted gravel or stone blocking can work just fine. Similar to how you want an architect that has container home experience, it's equally as important when you're selecting your engineer. If you find someone who hasn't worked with a container before, they're more likely to over-engineer it, which means it's going to cost more money. They will also determine what kind of structural supports are required if you're doing a crazy build and you're stacking a bunch of containers. Well, that concludes this video. If you want to learn more about building shipping container homes, go ahead and click the link in the description below to download our free shipping container home guide. In the guide, I go over the 5 common mistakes people make when building shipping container homes and how you can make sure that your container home is going to be a success. I appreciate you checking out this video and look forward to seeing you on the next one.